Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Hi, how you?
I didn't
We're-
think,
Can you plug in?
I didn't think we were having a meeting.
We're recording already?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 o'clock meeting called to order.
We're also live streaming.
So, everybody, state your name. Lee Wessler here.
Crystal Adams here.
Jean Pillow here.
Pam Spade here.
Mara Roby here.
Grace, you connected yet?
Jordan's mic is off.
Jordan, you here? Jordan Stern's avatar is here. Oh,
I'm here.
here he is. Grace, you connected? Grace is on her way. Okay, no alternates to see.
Grace just dropped off.
Yeah, she's
She's
probably
having trouble connecting.
yeah. Okay, let's wait. Let's give her a minute.
It took me a bit to get in.
Yeah, me too.
Took me a while for Chris to let me in.
So everybody ready for the holidays?
What holiday?
Yeah, New Year's, Jordan. New Year's.
Oh, New Year's, yeah, right.
Pretty much.
Come on, let's all root
Grace is-
for Grace to connect.
I think she's in now.
No, it still says connecting.
I guess.
Okay, on my end, it
Oh.
shows.
Grace, she made it.
Hi, Grace.
Hey,
Okay, now we can actually proceed.
Okay,
know-
now, unfortunately, I don't know who else is here. I was playing with the phone.
Yeah, me, Crystal, Pam, Jean, Jordan, Maura, and you.
Okay, thank you.
So no alternates to seats. Anyone have a chance to look at the minutes, and is there any discussion, changes, concerns, or anyone have a motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve.
Before we approve, I made a mistake.
Oh,
Under the open space, Jean had nominated, yeah. Hold on.
Cynthia, I thought.
Yes, Cynthia and Lori Barefoot approved. I had it reversed. So just so you
Okay.
know that, okay?
Okay. Thanks. And Jim Kading just joined us.
Okay,
So he's an alternate, so I can seat him. So
okay.
Jim, you can vote tonight.
Okay, great.
So
Thank you.
we have a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Pam seconds. Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, it passes. There's no public tonight. Hey, Grace, treasurer's report.
Yes, it's exactly the same as it was last month, which is $2,161.22 in the special fund, and our budget remains at $1,684.
You don't get interest in anything?
No, they don't post interest except every 6 months.
Any other questions for Grace? And Grace, sorry, Jean, go.
I was just curious, was our budget $2,000 or did they cut it?
No, they didn't cut it.
I'm asking a question. I don't see the paper in front of me, so I can't see what the numbers are based on. I know
Our
$1,000
regular
was-
budget was $914, and they had added the $1,000 for ECCD, which an invoice has not come through as yet. So that's why it's 1684. Because the only things that
Okay.
came out were a couple of small things 2 months ago.
Okay, I heard a different number. Thank you.
Okay.
Grace, did you get my email about, we have to propose our
Yes, I
budget for
did.
next? So it's over to send what we sent last year, right?
Yes, did you actually send us, as in the commission, copies of that, or you just went along to Karen with it?
Well, no, I sent it to you. I'm bringing it up tonight.
Yes.
You know, on the meeting.
Mhm.
And so we can just, is everybody, so this time of year, every year, we're asked for our budget for next year, our budget
Mhm.
proposal for next year. So every year we just, you know, ask for the same thing. So is everybody okay asking for the identical budget that we did last year?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay. So
I
can-
don't see any
Crystal, yes.
special projects that we're going to request anything additional for, unless we're out of pages in our minutes book, which I have no idea what the capacity of the minutes book is. That's the one surprise expense we've had over the years. And it's been years since we had that surprise.
Okay, so do we have to formally vote on it, or can we just discuss it? Do you remember?
I don't think well, we can vote on it and pass it, but my concern is you need to break down what the $914 are used for. And I was looking for that. That's why I was late. And I don't see a breakdown. In other words, if you just go to Karen and say you want the same $914, I'm guessing she's liable to ask you what the breakdown is.
Why are we asking for $914 if our budget's been 2,000?
It hasn't been 2,000, Jean. It's been $1,914.
Oh, I never
Right,
saw the
so that's
papers,
what we're
Grace.
requesting.
Okay.
Yes,
We have the website expense, which I don't recall what it is.
yep,
We have funding for our education and outreach, and we have funding for, training.
yep.
It's just being broken down in that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And Kakiwik
Yeah, and
membership.
And that
So-
hasn't come through yet either. But I'm just saying, when Lee submits this request, they're going to ask for amounts in each of those categories as they have before.
No, what did we, they haven't, we haven't line item asked.
Yeah,
Because we
well-
never
Yes, we
know,
have, Lee. We
Yes,
did
we
during my
have.
time as chair.
what did we do last year? The last 5 years, what have we done?
I don't know what.
I
did you
thought,
do?
I always sent them just an amount. I never did a breakdown.
Okay, well, send an amount and see what she says. And if she asks for it, then we'll ask her to look back at what it was before. But I know
Okay.
it was broken out only because off the top of my head, for training and stuff, we had like $300. And we amortized out the rest of it in, for Kakiwik and workshops,
And
etc.
Website. Yep.
Well, then you must have sent it, because I never sent anything with line items.
All
just- I
right,
just
I'll
send
go
them
back
out.
and I will go back and check it again. But can we just vote on that we accept that it is that, and I can put that in the minutes?
Okay, so do I have a motion? So you're making a motion, Grace?
Sure. Yes,
Is there a
To-
second?
yes. Approved $914 is the amount we wish to have.
Well,
Well,
no,
no,
with
no, it's-
$1,914.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm sorry, yep.
Is there,
$1,914.
Jordan's
there a
on
second?
Jordan second. Okay, got it.
okay, so any further discussion?
Actually, I
Yeah,
have a
so just-
question.
Yes, Maura.
When did we start paying the 1,000 for E ECCD support?
A
Has it
year
always-
ago.
No, more than a year ago, a few years ago.
No, I just went back and I was looking in the minutes and it was in the January 2020 meeting that we accepted that we would pay it.
It was during Mike Albert's administration where he
Right.
put that expense into our budget. So it's been
It's been several years.
2 years, but we haven't paid. And if the invoices are supposed to go out, then
Who used to pay it? Do we know? What department? or-
Yeah, inland wetlands.
no, I don't believe anybody paid the district. But Mike
Oh.
Alberts added it and put it into our budget.
I mean, I would just suggest that the work that we do supports the whole town, not just the Conservation Commission. I don't know if I should, it's so, I don't think it's a conflict of interest for me to just put that out there to say, I'm not sure why they put it on the Conservation Commission, because the whole town benefits.
It's just how they put it into the budget. So it wasn't a standalone line item that would get like slashed. That was Mike
Yeah,
Albert's.
just some, financial tricks. Shell, a
used to-
financial shell game.
So we used to get 900 and something, and now we get
No,
the
we
extra.
never, that we,
Oh.
Maura, the history was the conservation district did get funding from the town and then it got cut for several years. The town of Woodstock did not make contributions to the conservation district, but it got restored into the budget under Mike Albert's administration, but put into the Conservation Commission budget as a category of conservation, and therefore it wasn't going to be a standalone item in the budget. That would be, this was the reasoning at the time, that it would be better to put it into the conservation budget, so it wasn't going to be targeted by people not comprehending the value of the services.
If you would like, I can read you from the minutes of December 28th, 2020. Lee Westler received an email from the town treasurer asking for an explanation of what the ECCD does for our board specifically. Discussion ensued and it was decided that although the ECCD doesn't really do anything for the Conservation Board directly, we do support the work being done by them, and therefore, if the selectmen decide that this should be attached to our budget request, we will support that.
Yeah, right. But that was after several years of, we had already been doing it for several years. She just wanted, whoever looked at our budget last year decided they
Yeah.
wanted an explanation.
All right, as
We
long
we
as,
had done it.
as long
Yeah.
as people don't feel like, we could be doing something with that money instead, I guess it's,
We wouldn't get it.
We didn't, yeah, it was only.
Really?
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah, our budget is $914. They asked us a favor. Can we, in
Oh, okay,
order to
that's what I
preserve
asked.
this?
yeah, I
Yes.
said, so we had a 900. Oh, okay, so we weren't
Yeah.
normally getting, okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, so, and again, great. So last year I sent the budget. She queried me about ECCD. I
yeah,
gave her the answer, but I never gave her a line item. I gave her.
okay, well,
whole
as
number.
I said, let's go with that, Lee, and see what happens.
Okay, so all in favor of the budget proposal, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, motion passes. Okay, Chairman, nothing to report. Any communications?
No, there were none.
I had one, tomorrow at 1:00 in the Selectman's office, there's a meeting of the Friends of Muddy Pond. And that's all I didn't get anything else other than the time and the place. I don't know who they are or what they're doing.
I can speak to that a little bit if you wanted. You
Sure.
should have been CC'd on the email that gave more information. I didn't send that email, but I believe Kiana did, so I will double check. So my understanding of it is the Friends of Muddy Pond, them and Putnam WPCA, I believe, and Recreation Department. They split 3 ways the bill for testing. I think the company is called Solitude, but don't quote me on that. Anyways, the Friends of Muddy Pond and Putnam, I believe, they would like to switch to a different company. And we felt that, or the selectmen felt that our Ashley Stevens, our inland wetlands agent, and you as conservation chair and our recreation director, that this is something that might fall under your purview a little bit if you had interest in this.
I have a question, Crystal.
Sure.
What
Sure.
are they testing for?
I don't, they do weekly testing. And I believe they're testing, they do weekly testing through the summer. And I believe it's for, any bacteria in the water. I think they also manage any invasive aquatics in the water. Yeah, not being involved as the rec director for the last few years, I don't exactly recall all the details, but yeah, they test once a week through the summer. I think it's called Solitude, and the Friends of Muddy Pond would like to propose switching to a different company.
I'm perplexed because the Northeast District Department of Health tests Muddy Pond and Crystal Pond weekly during the summer for E. coli. Or at least I'm getting reports from them on water quality conditions. I don't
So
understand.
Jean,
Yes.
it's been a couple of years since I was the recreation director.
Yeah.
And I didn't read the emails because that's not under my purview. I've been doing
I
other
understand.
work. So possibly the Solitude is the company that manages invasives, if they're going to bring in grass, the carp, or if they're going to do this. So maybe I lumped the NDDH and the Solitude all in one umbrella, but maybe it's the NDDH that does the weekly testing for the E. coli, and maybe it's Solitude that does the management of the water quality.
That makes more sense to me.
That's but like I said, I haven't read those emails.
Yeah,
I
I understand not having time to read other people's emails.
Yeah. So, I'm not directly involved with that. That came to the rec director, who brought it to Jay and the executive secretary. So I heard the conversations, but I wasn't paying attention because it wasn't me setting up the meetings and directly affecting me. So
Okay.
probably what it is that Solitude manages the invasive
You're raising the
water
variable
quality.
milfoil. There's
Yeah. So that
It's
could
a
be
very
what it
bad
is.
problem with variable milfoil at Muddy Pond. And they were managing it using sterile carp.
Mhm.
And I know that Putnam at Roseland Lake is now working with Pond and Lake Solutions. So it would make sense if they wanted to change contractors. But I don't know the details of the whole thing. And I probably
Exactly.
could guide people on this, but I have a meeting tomorrow that I can't miss, and I can't attend that meeting.
Yeah, so I think Jay felt that, conservation should be included in the discussion, or if they wanted to weigh in on it. But like you said, if Putnam has already switched to that other company, then yeah, that's probably one reason why they want to make the switch.
Crystal, do you know, is Friends of Muddy Pond a town committee or who?
No,
who
that
owns
is,
it?
that's a group of people, I believe, who probably live in and around the Muddy Pond Lake area. So that's a private group. All I know is from being rec director, I know that the cost for Solitude is split 3 ways between the Friends of Muddy Pond, the Recreation Department, and Putnam.
Okay, so if, you know, if anyone wants to go and hear and represent us, we'd appreciate it.
What
Would
time is
you-
the meeting,
would-
Crystal?
I think
1
it's at
o'clock to
1.
1:30.
Would you like me to represent you? Because I'll be there anyways.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to know what the whole, you know, the crux of the conversations about, if it's about the variable milfoil or anything else. I'm just curious, because I've always had a stake in the watershed, and it's something that I want to stay up, you know, in touch with.
So go to the meeting.
I can't, I have another meeting.
I will go to the
Uh,
meeting tomorrow.
Thank you, Crystal. Any other communications? Okay, on to old business, Gene, DRC.
No activity. Haven't been getting a packet in the mail again. Have you?
No. No, I haven't.
Check with Ashley Stevens. They may be moving to doing more email packets. I'm not sure. Is this for P and Z?
Yes,
Okay, email Ashley Stevens. It's ashley.stevens@woodstockct.gov.
okay. Okay, Crystal, open space.
So open space, we discussed our budget request, and then I informed them that Lori Barefoot was our new representative. So, which I just, Grace just corrected that the minutes, the names have been changed. So I
I'm
will
so
let them know-
sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. I will let them know that it's Cynthia instead.
Oh, dear.
It's fine.
Okay, any
before we
questions for
change-
Crystal?
No. May I bring up something about open space?
Sure.
I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it'll work. I don't think it's gonna work. Let me. It's not letting, oh, here it is. Can everybody see the NECOG parcel map?
Yes.
Okay, I was talking with Andy Resnickevitz of the Wyndham Land Trust, and he informed me that the Wyndham Land Trust closed on a piece of property that straddles the border between the town of Woodstock and town of Pomfret off of Quarry Road. So the piece that just, did it turn blue?
Yep.
Okay, that piece is now owned by Wyndham Land Trust. And north of the border, that piece there is also now owned by Wyndham Land Trust. And although the parcel records in Woodstock indicated it to be about a 13-acre parcel of land, when they surveyed it, it was actually 30 acres.
Ooh,
So that is now part of Wyndham Land Trust.
great.
Wyndham Land Trust has also, I believe, this parcel here. I believe they also own that now. So they've got this large block of open space they're building at the intersection, at this border of Woodstock and Pomfret. So we're back to this piece here, which they acquired, is contiguous with this piece here, which is part of one of our open space acquisitions. This is town-owned land in Woodstock. It's on Quarry Road. I recall that it was made up of 5 parcels, but when you click around on this parcel map, you see this one, you see this one, And I think this one, no, not that one, this one, no. One of these other ones is also Town of Woodstock. Here it is. So
There.
1, 2, 3. I also
Wow.
think this one and this one is Town of Woodstock. But you can see, we have 3 parcels at least, maybe up to 5, that are contiguous with that piece of land that the Wyndham Land Trust just acquired during the most recent donation or closing they had. It was grant funded, so it was not a donation. So they have this new piece of land, and I have been approached by 2 members of the Wyndham Land Trust to feel me out to see what the Conservation Commission would think about transferring that town-owned land over to Wyndham Land Trust, who would be a better steward of the property. And then it would be permanently protected as open space, as opposed to being town-owned property that, although we support it as open space, could always change of that designation. They couldn't come to the meeting tonight. I said I'd bring up the subject to put it into people's mind, but they'd have to give a proposal, not just to us, but to open space and everybody in town before we can transfer the land. Now, so we're here. Here's the town, like, and my cursor's moving back and forth on the town border. This piece of land right here is owned by Quiet Corner Property Acquisitions. This piece here next to, on the other side of the road, this road that that's here is the discontinued part of Perrin Road. And the piece in the corner of Pomfret was formerly owned by Petra Ziba, the guy who made us get legal documents drawn up so we can gain access to town-owned land. And this is the piece of land that we own. That's 100 acres plus that we did the forest management plan on. So this piece here, word is, will be donated to the Wyndham Land Trust in time, which will alleviate any future issues with accessing town-owned land through that gate, because the people on the other side only own halfway into the road, and the Wyndham Land Trust would give us access that we need. So here's our town-owned land. This here is listed as Fairlane Farm. It is no longer Fairlane Farm. It is now owned by the Wyndham Land Trust, made by a very generous private donation. So obviously Wyndham Land Trust is interested in this piece of property too, just to let you know that they will be proposing transferring the land ownership over to Wyndham Land Trust to permanently protect the land as open space. I didn't say I approve or disapprove. I said I relayed the information, but it's very exciting to see the block of open space that is primarily forested that is now permanently protected. Some of it is ag land, of course, Fairlane Farm. So that's something I thought I'd share.
Well, thank you
So
for sharing.
So they're proposing the 100 acres plus the 4
These
other.
areas over here, they are proposing that we donate that land to Wyndham Land Trust, and they will manage it. But that's something that they'll have to get a formal proposal on.
Okay, so what do you guys think?
I'd like to hear what they have to say. I'd like to have them do the presentation and formal request.
Okay,
And they'd have to, again, propose it to open space. I know that at one point in time, that open space and conservation both made a list of properties that they recommend the town maintain as open space, but there's no documents that permanently protect that land as open space. So it can change at the whim of whomever is in leadership at the town hall to maybe sell that land for some other purpose at some point, or, for the 100 acres plus, we did make some money off of a timber harvest. So these are, things to consider. Like I said, I'd like to see them make a formal proposal before we make any decision.
For the 100 acres, is there another plan, like in 10 years, to go in and do more logging? Or we done it
It's a
all?
possibility.
Okay,
And
so we have to take that
again,
into
with,
consideration.
well, yes and no, but with all of forestry and all of lumber, as we found out with this last one, it depends on the market, if it's there.
Right.
And personally, if we advocate for the land trust, I think it's wonderful. And of course, when you deed it over, you can stipulate that it can never be sold and that it must remain as open space. And they are willing to steward it. So personally, I think it's, obviously, we just don't have the ability to do this. And they do. They advocate and they do a very good job on the properties that they have.
At this time.
Right,
Land
Right,
trusts
but-
have their good days and their bad days. Right now, they're having a very good day at Wyndham Land Trust.
So this is Crystal Adams speaking. So I am assuming that they would like to do a presentation and get our commission and Open Space Commission on board. And I'm not 100% sure, but when we proposed to purchase land for open space, even though open space has an account and they buy the land PDR out of their account, it still has to go before a town meeting to be voted on. So I'm wondering if it's the same case to, make the land go from town owned to, giving it to a land trust. But I can find out.
I
I assume
do
that is
believe that's the case.
Okay,
Yes.
so I will add this. I keep a list, kind of a running tally of possible items for upcoming town meetings. So I will add this to my list and I'll find out. And then, we'll look and see what upcoming town meetings we have and, if they decide to go that way to pursue this.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
I have a
Mm.
question.
yes, Mark.
Is there any precedent for this, either in our town or in other towns of land trusts doing this?
The town of Thompson gave some of their land to the Wyndham Land Trust over at Bull Hill.
Oh, okay.
Ray,
Yeah, I was just,
This is Jordan. I'm watching the live stream that they're doing what's it called? Live streaming the talk, but we gotta mention our names first because it's just all jumbled together.
What?
The live stream transcript, live transcript,
Yeah.
you don't mention your name, then it all just jumbles together as you talk.
Okay,
Uh,
the transcript is just something, I don't download the transcript and put it on the website, on the YouTube channel. I just download the recording, the Otter transcript. That's just for people who have hearing issues. But yeah, since this is a Zoom meeting, technically, you are supposed to say your name before you speak. But most of us do have our names on on our little icons.
Right.
Okay, so any other, so we don't have to vote or anything tonight, right, Jean? That's,
No.
it's an FYI.
It's FYI from Jean.
it's a nephew.
Sorry.
Dean, what are the details again? Like how many acres is that parcel and what is the address of that parcel?
The 100 some odd, it's like 100 acres. I don't remember the exact acreage. Let me see if I can,
The 113 acres.
oh, here you go.
Thank you. And that's off of near Quarry Road?
The 100-acre property, this is Jean, is 113 acres and it's listed as Perrin Road.
Okay,
And, but it's, we can only access it from actually Swedetown Road in Pomfret. The other parcels in question, there are 3 to 5 of them. And they, let's see. I'm gonna start clicking on them and get some numbers for you.
you don't need to do that. This is Crystal. I just wanted a general idea. I'm sure they'll put together a
8.2,
presentation.
44. 8.5. And the other two, there's no data.
Thank you, Jean.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I just have one last comment. Remember to, as far as the logging of the 113 acres, we stepped in and, took a, opposed the original forester's recommendations that the selectmen had hired, and we talked about making money off the land by, logging. So I'm not sure how good it's going to look for us to hand it over to the land trust. Just, something to consider.
Yes, but our purview is to conserve open space.
No, it's also, we're also responsible for forestry.
Yes.
That's one,
And,
that's also.
well,
purview.
that's what I meant, to preserve the land as is. And
No, it's also forestry,
yes,
Yeah,
it
but
is.
not necessarily making money.
No,
but yeah, necessarily making money.
No.
That's kind of what we went to the, yeah, I mean, we
No,
had
they want,
precedent
the
before.
town wants to make money, but
Right,
when you do a forest management plan, that doesn't have to be the objective in a forest management plan.
right, but in this case, there was money involved, so. I
oh,
mean,
yes, but we stepped in to salvage the property as forest and not
Right,
totally
proper-
destroy it. Yeah,
right, but to log it under current
properly.
techniques, but it was still
Yes.
logging it.
Oh, yeah,
We
Yes,
didn't
but
go in and
it-
say you can't log it, we're just gonna preserve it. We
No,
went in
no.
and proposed best practice, and,
yes.
we're gonna log it today, but we're gonna leave it open for future logging, so the town will get future income from it. So we did, we,
Okay.
there was money involved.
Yes.
Does the, just a question, if anybody knows, this is Jim. Does the land trust ever allow for entities to come in and harvest under a
Yes,
certified forest
Absolutely.
management plan?
yes.
So the town might
Yes.
still be able to retain some
Sure.
economic, impact on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they would honor the current forestry management, then,
Right.
Yeah.
that maybe that's a way to do it.
Mm.
Okay, good. Well, we'll have further discussion when they come and give their presentation. Okay, P and Z, like Jean and I said, we didn't get a report. Ag Commission, Grace?
Nothing that would fit in anything that we do. The discussion I was talking about, the PA 490, that kind of went south. Got very involved with a lot of other things, but nothing else that the Ag Commission is up on is anything to do with us.
Okay, anyone have anything active with stewardship? Probably not, because it's getting cold out there.
Actually, now is the right time of year to try to go out and look at boundaries, because when the ground is frozen, you can access areas that are inaccessible during the wet season.
Go for it, Jean.
Any-
Sorry, I have not been able to do anything myself. This is Mara.
Okay. Gene pollinator pathway.
No, nothing new.
Hey, Chris,
I'm
good.
gonna be finding a speaker for the spring again, but I haven't done anything yet.
Hey,
Seen those little
Crystal sustain. Oh, sorry, Jordan, what?
Excuse me, I've seen those little pollinator pathways, emblems up at different places.
Oh,
the
thank you.
Medallions, yeah.
I do remember, this is Jean again. I do remember that I had a conversation with the chair of the civics committee at the garden club. And she wants the garden club to be working with the Conservation Commission on the Pollinator Pathway Initiative and in a way that is yet to be defined. So that is an action I forgot about.
Okay, Crystal, Sustainable Connecticut.
So Sustainable Connecticut has released a 11-page document giving some ideas and some actions that other towns have used and highlighting how Sustainable Connecticut actions, some of them through their community matching program, has been able to leverage the funds from the American Rescue Plan, which is really interesting. So I'm looking into that. Woodstock, we have a ARPA 2021 at woodstockct.gov email, and we had a open public forum October 12th, and we've been keeping a running list and updating it as people in the community have suggested ideas for different uses of the ARPA funds. And some of those uses would fall under this idea of being able to use it for Sustainable Connecticut, but maybe also to do it as a community matching. So I'm going to be looking into this because it's really interesting, especially some of the, the first phase that the town is doing is primarily involved with public health and safety and infrastructure, but then there are some more community and recreation components that I think will be more a part of the second phase. And so I'm going to be looking into this document, and it gives some examples of what other communities in Connecticut have done and what the different actions are that they've used. And it also highlights where other communities have used the ARPA funds to help, like Hartford and Bridgeford. Hartford has done one where they did something with their Capitol Avenue, and they used some of the funds from ARPA, and it also checked off some of the certification for Sustainable Connecticut. So I thought that was really interesting that they put that together, and I'll be looking into that.
Jean?
Hi, Crystal, this is Jean.
Hi, Jean.
One, is there any format that's been found or a link to uploading our participation, the things get credit for what we've already accomplished?
I've got right now, I'm kind of keeping some things that I know about on a list, and I just need to go in and update it on the community on the page.
So the only one person can access that? I didn't want that to be your obligation or your burden.
Right. I mean, right now, yes, that person is me, but I'd like to figure out like how to set it up. So it's a little weird because you don't want it to be like a free for all, So yeah, right now that's me. I've got the password and stuff. So I just need to go in and take my notes and put them into the website.
Okay, on your list of things, do you have the Ag Commission partnering with ECCD and the Grange on the Farm Talk series?
I sure do.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Go
ahead.
Okay, are you guys familiar with the Connecticut Path Project? Not the old Connecticut Path, but the Connecticut Pathways, I think is what it's called. Have you heard of that?
No.
I'm not.
All right. Okay, it's something coming out of the state of Connecticut partnering with UConn and they're putting together like a comprehensive list of like trails and paths through Connecticut, and they just started it. So they've got some towns into it, are on the website, but other towns aren't on it yet. So I attended a seminar to learn more about it at the CCM convention, and it was really intriguing and interesting to see what they're doing, and something I'd like to see if we could get some Woodstock paths and trails on it.
That'll be interesting. This is Jean. I'd be very interested in getting the trails that we have onto that. Because we have the 50-acre wood, we have the mile loop trail down at the beaches, we have the
We've
new
got the
trail.
the Bull Hill Trail. I mean, we've got several. So
Yeah,
Bull
the,
Hill, isn't Bull Hill in Thompson?
where, I don't know where I started. I thought it was Woodstock. I think if you
Go ahead.
you can, I think you can approach it from the Thompson way or from the Woodstock way, was how it was explained to me.
Mhm.
yeah. And then we have the new one across from the town beach.
Right.
When is that ever gonna have a ribbon cutting? Have you talked to Beth?
No,
No, she was
Probably-
actually supposed to get a walk through there. Originally, she had said November sometime. Haven't heard anything more, though.
so Crystal, is this part of Sustainable Connecticut, or are we gonna make this a separate line item for old business to?
No, I don't think we need to make it a separate line item. I was just, it's not, it's called the Connecticut Trail Finder. And
Okay.
it's, but possibly working to put our stuff in Woodstock and link it to Connecticut Trail Finder, that might fall under a Sustainable Connecticut action.
Okay, good.
That'd be good. I think
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Okay, any other questions for Crystal?
Oh,
Jean?
there's just a comment I have for you, Lee. I met
Yeah.
Erin at the Winter Festival, and I brought up the pickleball court concept to her. So I said that you were very interested in having a pickleball court in Woodstock.
And what'd you say?
What's pickleball?
Oh.
That's what most people say.
Okay,
She comes, she has a lot of years, some years at the YMCA, so she's probably seen it, but maybe just didn't realize what it was. And speaking as a past recreation director, one thing that we were looking at was how many pickleball courts could we fit on the existing tennis court behind the middle school. I don't remember if that number was 2 or 4, but there's a way to do it where you paint the lines the same, like a different shade of the color of the court, so that it
Yeah.
doesn't interfere with the white lines for the tennis players. And then you've got a court that's multi-use. So that is one of the proposed ARPA projects that people have commented on, is to resurface that tennis court. And definitely when that happens, having lines painted so people can do pickleball as well as tennis is something that we're interested in.
yeah, I actually, I looked into it, and Killingley's done it at
Oh, cool.
at Owen Bell Park. Their tennis courts, they put the lines in, so it's a dual court.
So that's what we would do when we are able to fix the surfacing on those tennis courts.
Okay, great. So I guess the goal, I have to get in touch with Aaron. We would that be under recreation's budget through the town of Woodstock, or is it something
We don't have the budget for that.
So we try to
we-
raise money and then do the 50/50 thing with Sustainable Connecticut.
Well, or we see if that qualifies for ARPA funding. And then if so,
ARPA.
that would,
Okay.
and that would fall under the phase 2, which is more the recreation
Okay,
side of things. But that is already on the list of proposed uses for the ARPA funds. And we
Okay.
do have some different quotes already about what different costs might be. There's like a cheaper version, and then there's like a very in-depth version that's a lot more expensive. So it's being looked into.
well, if we get ARPA funds, would Sustainable Connecticut match what ARPA gives us.
They're not going to match the whole thing, but if we do a project that's going to match a Sustainable Connecticut initiative, there have been communities where Sustainable Connecticut has matched the funds.
Right,
You
that's
know,
what I'm
so-
asking.
So, yeah, so let's say we're like, okay, we'd like to do this project, it's gonna cost $10,000. You know, if we take 5,000 from ARPA, will Sustainable Connecticut match it? So that proposal would be submitted to Sustainable Connecticut. They've got a
Right.
committee who reviews these proposals, and then they would come back and say, yes, this qualifies, we'll match it, or no, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking. Okay,
Okay.
good.
I have a question, Crystal.
sure.
What does ARPA stand for again?
American Rescue Plan Act. And I've put the link to Connecticut
Plan.
Trail Finder in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I don't mess up again.
No, it's fine. If this is Crystal speaking, if you go on the town website and go to
Yep.
the news section on the front page, I've had that ARPA section pinned since we started doing it several months ago. And then we just update, you know, any new information that comes, we add, you know, I do an update there and we add links to support it. So I've got it pinned to the top of the news section so it stays on the
Cool.
top.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions for Crystal? And moving on to new business, anyone have the opportunity to attend any workshops they want to let us know about? What about
I
the
attended-
Grange thing? Wasn't that?
No,
within the
I think we already
already did
talked
that.
about that last time, I think.
Okay,
But I
Uh,
actually, oh, go ahead. I don't know if this should be for in my, whatever, the open discussion, but I'm actually taking a permaculture certification course. So this is over about 5 months. And it's actually partially through my job and partially for my own personal use. And so it's a way to, it's kind of like regenerative ag is part of it. There's 12 principles, and it's so really mimicking nature as far as doing plantings, and not just for food, but for fiber and medicine. And it's a really cool way of looking at doing agriculture in a really holistic way. It's a lot more than that, but just in a few minutes, that's kind of my quick description. And you could go to, there's a site, just permacultureprinciples.com, and you can just, if you want to learn more about it, and that all runs together, permaculture principles. So it's really exciting, and I hopefully when I'm done, which will be in the spring, and if I'm certified, I can, it's a lot of planning. So you write you do a whole bunch of maps and do a lot of planning as far as whatever space you're doing. I'm going to do it in my yard first, and there's a potential project through work. If someone, I think it's the town of Thompson, gets a grant, they wanted to put in a permaculture garden and maybe a food forest. So it's really grassroots kind of movement right now, but it's really sort of like the future of how we should really be working with the landscape to try to use the energy in the best possible way, energy from the sun, water. So really just looking at everything very sustainably, even beyond sustainable, like I said, into regenerative. Healthy soils is involved. So it really pulls together a whole bunch of those kind of concepts. And so I'm excited about it. And hopefully I will share with you guys more when I get really moving on it.
okay, so
Sounds
this
good.
could dovetail into Sustainable Connecticut as a project somehow. Right?
Yeah, if I have time to do
Well, I
something,
mean,
but I mean,
Sometime in the future, in the next 10 years.
yeah, okay, I'll commit to that.
10 years is good.
Anyone else have any workshops they attended or any upcoming workshops they want to mention? Okay,
What time of
hearing
year for
none.
Workshops.
Yeah, I know. Okay, moving on to open discussion. Crystal,
Nothing.
Pam,
Nope.
Mr. Stern,
Nothing.
Maura,
I already mentioned mine.
okay, Grace,
Nope.
Jim,
Nope.
and
Nothing.
last but not least, Gene, you got something, right?
I have nothing.
You're kidding. It's a
She has to
Christmas
make-
miracle. It's a
She, no,
Christmas
she has,
miracle.
she has to make lasagna tonight. That's all.
Okay,
For a
The
party.
lasagna's already made.
Wow, you're good.
okay. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Make a
If
motion to
nothing,
adjourn.
is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion
Jordan
to
makes
adjourn.
motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Jim seconds. Okay. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have
Merry
a
Christmas.
happy and a healthy
Yeah.
New Year and Merry Christmas
See
and
you soon.
See
Happy
you all next
holidays
year.
to everybody.
thanks.
Yep. Bye.
See you Wednesday, Jordan.
See you Wednesday.
Okay, Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.